One of the big talking points that we attribute to Kamala Harris losing in November and Donald Trump winning is Trump's pushing during the campaign that he was going to bring down grocery prices, milk, eggs, basics. And it was supposed to be kind of a signature way to show that he is on the side of regular Americans. He's on the side of the people that have been feeling the pinch when they go and do their grocery shopping at the supermarket. And it was very clear, if you vote for Trump, your groceries are going to get cheaper. It was simple. It was direct. He promised it in a lot of different places right before the election. Here's what Donald Trump posted to Truth Central about it, among many times, but at one point, Trump posting in all capital letters, quote, "Prices are too high. The consumer is angry at this incompetent administration. Kamala has no idea how to bring prices down. She is afraid to even discuss it with the fake news media. Even worse than her VP candidate, she doesn't even have a clue. But I do, and it will happen fast." Trump also saying, again, I could give you dozens of these clips. Here's one from Erie, Pennsylvania, where Trump talked about how cheap everything was going to get, including groceries.
We will end inflation and make America affordable again. We're going to get the prices down. We have to get them down. It's too much. Groceries, cars, everything. We're going to get the prices down. But prices will come down. You just watch. They'll come down, and they'll come down fast, not only with insurance, with everything. So tomorrow, I will end inflation. We will cut your taxes, end inflation, slash your prices. I will end inflation. Slash your prices to rapidly.
All right, I think you get the point. Very clear promises. Eggs will come down. Milk will come down. Things are going to get cheaper in the absolute, which of course would be deflation, which isn't even desirable, and we'll talk about that later. Well, it turns out that Donald Trump is already bailing on this promise. Now as president-elect, now realizing, wait a second, all of my policies are just going to bring prices up. All of a sudden, Donald Trump is acknowledging, I don't really know that that is going to happen. No guarantee, no confidence, a tacit admission that it's not going to happen. Trump interviewed in written form. Trump didn't do any of the writing. Trump interviewed in written form by Time magazine, and he was asked, quote, "If the prices of groceries don't come down, will your presidency be a failure?" And Donald Trump answered, "I don't think so. Look, they got them up. I'd like to bring them down. It's hard to bring things down once they're up. You know, it's very hard, but I think that they will. I think that energy is going to bring them down." That's not true. "I think a better supply chain is going to bring them down. You know, the supply chain is still broken, blah, 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 blah." During the campaign, Trump was slamming Democrats and Kamala Harris for supposedly not understanding. Americans just want to buy groceries at lower prices. They don't want to choose between heating their home and fresh vegetables, as Trump sometimes calls them. And he made it sound like lowering prices was a piece of cake. He's just going to do it. And when people would ask him how, he would go, you just do it. You just lower the prices. And now all of a sudden he's being more realistic, and he is completely abandoning the promise that he made. And it wasn't just an idle fringe promise. One of the core reasons that those voters that made a difference in those key swing states went to Trump was the belief, as ridiculous as it might have been, that when Trump becomes president, prices on groceries are going to go down in absolute terms. Now, there are two parts to this analysis, and they are both critically important. One is that Trump's policy proposals will actually make groceries, among other things, more expensive. Second is the understanding that deflation would likely be bad for the economy if it took place. So let's talk about one at a time. Trump is talking about tariffs on China, yes, but he's also talking about tariffs on Canada and Mexico. These are two of the biggest sources of what's on our shelves: vegetables, fruit, meat. A bunch of it is coming across our borders. Economists are warning what Trump is threatening to do, what Trump is promising to do, is going to make grocery prices even higher. It's not going to be lower. It's just cause and effect. If you make it more expensive for suppliers to import produce or grain, who do you think is going to pay for that? It's going to be higher prices at the supermarket. So number one, if you actually look at Trump's proposals, aside from whether it's difficult or easy to bring down grocery prices, Trump's ideas will bring prices up in general. But let's get to the second part of this. Bringing prices down in absolute terms probably wouldn't be good for the economy. As I've explained before, deflation leads people to delay purchases in general. Now, I know you're going to say, well, hold on. With food, it's different because you need food to eat. That's right. And we'll get to that in a moment. As a general concept, if consumers start to see prices going down on things, they would say, I'm going to delay this purchase because it'll be cheaper in the future. When you delay purchases, those businesses now have reduced revenue. They have to either reduce wages or lay people off, which leads to fewer people who can afford to go and spend their wages elsewhere. So that's what's called the deflationary spiral. Now, it is absolutely the case that that applies mostly to goods that are not required goods, like, for example, food. When it comes to something like food, because you need food, people will do what they can to find less expensive alternatives, which often just means lower quality food, and they will pull spending away from other areas. So they might have no choice but to spend more on groceries as grocery prices go up, but then they are going to be pulling money from elsewhere. So not only does Trump seem to misunderstand what the goal should be, Trump isn't acknowledging that his policy proposals will actually bring prices up. But what is he acknowledging? He's acknowledging that his promise that prices will come down and they'll come down quickly on groceries when he becomes president, it's probably not going to happen. What will his supporters say? They'll probably blame Democrats, would be my guess. What is the best way to learn a language? Immersion, living where the language is spoken and using it every day. When that's not possible, you can still learn a language, and I think the second best way is Babbel. Our sponsor, Babbel, is the science-backed language learning app that works and works quickly. Don't pay hundreds of dollars for private tutors or waste hours on apps that don't really help you start speaking the language. Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons are handcrafted by over 200 language experts to help you start speaking a new language in as little as 3 weeks. You know, when I travel to a country where I'm unfamiliar with the language, I just start using Babbel a few weeks before I get on the plane, and I end up with a surprising level of comfort with the language once I'm at my destination. There are studies from Yale, Michigan State University, and others that continue to prove Babbel is better. One study found that using Babbel 15 hours is like a semester of a language class at college. Babbel has sold over 16 million subscriptions, and all of Babbel's 14 award-winning language courses are backed by their 20-day money-back guarantee. Here's a special limited-time deal for my audience. Right now, get up to 60% off your Babbel subscription, but only for my audience at babbel.com/Pacman. Rules and restrictions may apply. The link is in the description.